Welcome back to another video. My name's Keaton Walker with orthopatients.com, and in this video we're going to be going over how to set up a good Facebook ad for any local business. So when I first started out in Facebook advertising, this back end of Facebook, the ads manager, was so confusing. The business manager, the ads manager, pixels, funnels, all this stuff was so confusing. So I really want to dumb that down for you and help you understand on a core level what Facebook advertising really is and how you can make it profitable for your business. So here I am in the back end of Facebook. This is business.facebook.com. If you haven't created a business manager yet, you should go do that. There's a video on my channel about that. It's called behavioral targeting. So if you go in there, the first few minutes shows you how to set up a business manager account. So go watch that video if you haven't yet. But if you already have it created, you have your ad account and your Facebook page connected to your business manager, then you should see something like this. Facebook's always testing different combinations in the back end, so you could be seeing something a little bit different, but for the most part, all the options are going to be the same. So I've created a demo ad account and then a demo practice. I run an agency that helps orthodontists get new patients through Facebook advertising, so I just named this demo practice because we work with orthodontists. So come in here to your ads manager and you should see something like this. These are a couple other test campaigns that I've created in here. But let me just explain this back end a little bit. So you've got the campaign level, and then you have the ad set level, and then you have the ad level. So campaigns are how you tell Facebook what types of people you want to find. So do you want to find people that like, comment, and share? Or do you want to find people who are more likely to click to your website? Or do you want to find people who are more likely to download your app? You probably don't have an app if you're a local business, but there's options for all of these. So that's the campaign level. The ad set level is how you target geographically and interest-based targeting. So the campaign is the behavior, how you target the behavior of that person. The ad set is how you target where they live and what they're interested in, based on what Facebook knows about them. And then here on the ad level, this is the actual creative and what you're putting in front of people. This is what you see when you scroll through your Facebook feed or your Instagram feed. And that's one point I should make as well, that Facebook and Instagram advertising are in the same bucket. So you can run ads from Instagram and run ads from Facebook from this ads manager. There's no other way to run good Instagram ads except from this Facebook backend. So if you have that question, this video is going to help you out with that as well. And when I say there's no way to run good Instagram ads except from this Facebook backend, I mean that if you go into the promotions tab on your Instagram account and you're running a promotion from there, you're telling Instagram that you want people to like and comment on your post, not that you want them to click through and buy your things. So that's an essential thing to remember. You should always use this backend. You should never boost your posts or just use the simple promotions tab from Instagram because it's basically Facebook's way of stealing your money. So you're going to come in here, we'll get rid of these, and just click create. And when you do, you'll see a page that looks like this. Let's wait for it to load. Great. So we'll click start over here. So we have three levels here: awareness, consideration, and conversion. These three levels all correlate with a level of the marketing funnel. So at the very top of the marketing funnel, you have awareness. You want people to be aware of you, your business, what you're doing, and there's more people that are aware of you than are considering buying something from you. And there's more people considering than have actually purchased, which would be conversion. So on Facebook, they've separated their advertising objectives into these three buckets. And under each of them, you have an option to click or use any of these options here. So we have brand awareness. And if you hover your mouse over here, it gives you this little description. It says, increase awareness for your brand by reaching people who are more likely to be interested in it. And then reach, show your ad to the maximum number of people. So first you need to decide what your campaign objective is, not what Facebook's campaign objective is for you, because then you're assigning something to the algorithm and basically giving the machine learning beast that is Facebook a target. But before you even touch the Facebook Ads Manager, you should sit down and think, what is it that I want from this? And it's usually going to be you want more people to buy. Maybe you're just trying to reach more people and just get in front of more people, but in my experience, that doesn't make for profitable Facebook ads. That's more something that Gary Vaynerchuk might do, or somebody else that just needs to run branding campaigns so that people click through to their Instagram or to their Facebook and become part of their world and then eventually purchase their things. So if I were you, I would not run either of these campaigns. Here in the middle is where I would sit if I was a local business, and if I was selling something online, I would come here to the conversion side of things. So the consideration side, or the consideration bucket more like, under this we have traffic, we have engagement, we have app installs, video views, lead generation, and messages. So if I were a local business, I would use either traffic, video views, lead generation, or messages. And I will show you what we can do with each of those. So you'd come in here to traffic, and I'll call this traffic demo, and we'll turn on campaign budget optimization. For the most part, you should always turn on campaign budget optimization. It's more like a new Facebook ads feature that just came out this year, but it just allows the machine learning algorithm to optimize more effectively, because you're putting your budget on the campaign level instead of on the ad set level, which I'll explain a little bit more later. But you come in here to, you can say either daily budget or lifetime budget. If I were a local business, I'd probably do a daily budget of anywhere between $10 and $20. So let's say $10, and you're always going to want to optimize for lowest cost. These are more advanced tactics that you won't need to use. And we'll click setup. It's going to ask you for this, like what your currency is, where you live, your time zone. I'm actually in the Denver time zone, so I'll go ahead and change that. And then continue. So I've selected the traffic objective, remember. So once I said traffic, what I've told Facebook is that I want to find people who have exhibited through their behavior that they like traffic ads. So they like to click through to websites, or as we see here, they like to click through to apps, or they like to click through to Messenger, or they like to click through to WhatsApp, which is actually really cool. I haven't run ads to WhatsApp, but I could see this being really successful, especially in maybe like a Spanish-speaking community. So let's say that if you were a local business, I would only run ads to a website or to Messenger on the traffic objective, or maybe WhatsApp if you feel like you can use that, but I've never used it before. So you'll come here, and I usually just ignore both of these things. They're parts of Facebook. There's a million different things that you can focus on here, a million different shiny objects that you can get distracted by. And if you just focus on what I'm going to tell you in this video, you're going to have success. So don't worry about dynamic creative or creating an offer. This is like, you've probably seen it if you use Facebook a lot, but it's where people can see offers being offered by local businesses, and then they can say, I want this offer, but it's not quite as effective as a normal Facebook ad, in my opinion. So again, this is the ad set level. We just came from the campaign, which is the behavior, and we're coming to the ad set, which is the geographical and interest-based targeting. So we're coming here, there's so many options here in the audience. This can be really confusing. So I'll kind of break down each one of these. So a custom audience is what a custom audience is you're telling Facebook, I want to target these Facebook users very, very specifically. So let's say you have an email list of 5,000 people, and you could upload that email list into Facebook, and you could say only target the people on this email list, which is really, really incredible in my opinion. So you'd come here to create new custom audience if you wanted to do this with the email lists. And as you can see, there's a million different, not a million, but a few different places where you can pull this custom audience data from. So you could pull it from your website if you have a Facebook pixel installed on your website, which I'll cover in another video. You could pull it from a customer list, like I said. So use a file that includes customer lifetime value. So upload a file and copy and paste data, and we'll match your customer information to people on Facebook apps and services. When you include lifetime value, you can use it to create a lookalike audience of your most valuable customers. So this is a fairly new feature as well. So you could upload their email, their name, and then the lifetime value of that customer, and then Facebook is going to hyper optimize and find people really similar to the people with those email addresses or those phone numbers if you have a phone number list. Use a file that doesn't include LTV. This is probably what you would be using, and then import from MailChimp. If you have a MailChimp account, that's what you do. Let's go back in here to customer list. So I would click here, click I accept, and then you'd upload a CSV or a TXT file. And what you do is just take what CSV stands for is comma separated values. So you would get all of your emails, your email list, and then you'd separate them by commas and upload them into this Facebook backend, and then you'd name your audience. And that would be a really effective strategy if you want to target current or past customers or people who have submitted their information but have never purchased from you. Let's go back. App activity, this wouldn't apply to you if you're a local business. Offline activity, I've never used this before, but what's pretty amazing is that people can, that Facebook knows that people who have interacted offline in the past 30 days with your practice. So they know where they've gone, they know how if they've walked into your office, or if they've called you. There's a million different ways that that Facebook knows things about people. So this is something that you could target as well. I wouldn't totally recommend it. Again, I haven't used it, so I can't totally recommend it, but it'd be something good for maybe like an ice cream shop or somewhere where people are walking into a business and you want to get them to come back, and all of your sales depend on them walking back into your business. So these are, again, it says here use your sources, and then here it's use Facebook sources. So we can use video, we can use Instagram business profile, we can use events, so an audience of people who interacted with one of your events on Facebook. You can do a lead form, an instant experience. So this is an audience of people who have opened a previous ad, basically, and then Facebook page. So if you want to do something that just is simple and encompasses all of these things, I would come to Facebook page, and I would do everyone who engaged with your page in the last maybe 30 to 60 days is what I would choose here. So I do the last 30 days, and then you can name your audience, engaged page, 30 days. 30 days. And we'll add the other underscore there, right? So if I click create audience here, that means that I've targeted everybody that's watched a video from my page, that's opened an instant experience from my page, that's done anything with my page in the last 30 days. They're going to be retargeted. The only thing that wouldn't be included in this is Instagram business profile. So we'd say everyone who engaged with your business in the last 30 days. And so maybe you're worried, engaged, Instagram, 30 days. And And you could say people who engaged with any post or ad, people who sent a message to your business profile, people who saved any post or ad. So maybe you're worried like, oh, I don't want to show ads to people that already like my page because I don't have to pay for that. That's a little bit of a fallacy. You really don't reach that many of the people who like your page if you're a Facebook business page and even Instagram. But B, what happens is that if you serve the ad to the entire audience, people who've engaged with your page, it gets in front of people that already know, like, and trust you, and they start to like the ad, they start to share the ad, they start to comment positive things on the ad, and that adds a lot of social proof when it's shown to people that don't know you. And those people liking, commenting, and sharing it are probably similar to your ideal customers because they're already your customers. And what that allows Facebook to do is optimize for finding people that are similar to your customers right now. So we'll go ahead and go back. I'm going to delete this one as well. But you'd put custom audiences in there if you, this is like a scenario where you're more experienced with Facebook ads, you understand what custom audiences are, how to use them, and why you would be using them. If you're just very, very beginner, I honestly wouldn't recommend doing custom audiences because they don't perform quite as well for beginners just because you don't know exactly what you're doing. And cold targeting or just like basic targeting works really, really well for local businesses because Facebook is so smart. It just knows who is going to like what type of ad, and it's constantly optimizing and going through showing different variations of the same ad to different people, or showing variations of the same ad to the same person, or so different ads to the same person or the same ad to different people, and trying to figure out who is going to like this ad. And the way that it determines whether it's being liked is not like a like, comment, or share per se, but if we're optimizing here for people to go to a website, then it's saying, okay, I had 50 people click on this ad and go to the website. I'm going to see what common denominator all of these people have and what people on Facebook are similar to them, so that I can continue to show this ad to people who are going to like it. So Facebook has to balance the customer experience, which is the user experience, and then the advertiser experience as well. So the user experience is, I want to see ads that I like, and I really don't want to see that many ads at all. I want to see my friends' posts. And the advertiser experience is, I want to make money. So Facebook has to balance those two things, and the way it does it is by a hyper-optimized machine learning algorithm that allows the advertiser to get in front of people that know, like, and trust the brand, or are interested in what that brand has to offer. So that's why cold targeting works really well. And the thing is that Facebook just keeps getting smarter and smarter. I hate to break it to you, but Facebook probably knows more about you than you know about you. It knows your behavior online. It knows what kinds of ads you like. It knows the brands that you have an affinity for, and it knows what things you're interested in. So, and that's what allows us as advertisers to have so much success, because this is the most powerful advertising platform known to man. So if we come here to under here, instead of creating a custom audience, if we just want to create a normal targeting audience that doesn't have any customer file or Facebook data or other data to help it out, and we just want to say, hey Facebook, you know best. I'm going to tell you where I'm at, and I'm going to tell you the general parameters of the people that are interested in my company, and then you go find the ones that are interested in buying this offer. So what we do is, you want to select people who live in this location, and then you just type in your address. So let's say 1234. This isn't in the United States, but we'll select. Oh, looks like that's a zip code. So we'd come here to, trying to think of an address, Madison Avenue, let's say, in New York or Iowa. So we've got this Madison Avenue. Obviously, you'd put in like 1234 Madison Avenue or whatever it is that your practice is. And what that's going to allow you to do, if you type in let's say we use this one, Paris Street. It's going to allow you to have this radius like you see here. And so you can do a 10-mile radius if you're in a really rural area. I would probably recommend 10 or more. You can do up to a 50-mile radius if you're a local business that's really, really far. I would recommend probably somewhere between 5 and 7. And that's going to reach the people who are most likely to engage with you because you're a local business. So then you'd come in here to the age, and what I do is I target the general age parameters and then also the gender, because those two things separate your audience. It creates an audience that's small enough that Facebook knows what to do with it, but big enough that it's not constricting Facebook's algorithm. So what we do is I come here, so for orthodontists, for example, what I target is usually like 28, probably 30 to, and I just leave the top end open because there's not a ton of people who are on Facebook over that age. But if you want to, you could do 30 to 50. That's a pretty good range. And then select women. Mostly it's women that are going to be helping their kids go to the orthodontist, and the ads just tend to do better when we select women. So think about that for your area. So usually the mom or the dad that's putting a child in some kind of class or lesson, or purchasing something for a child, or is it a product that's primarily for women or primarily for men? And if it's right down the middle, I would suggest picking, you can select all, and then you can also test an ad set that has men and an ad set that has just women. And as far as languages, I usually keep this open as well, unless you're running a Spanish specific ad. Then you can come in here and say Spanish, and I just say Spanish all, but again, your ad would need to be in Spanish for that to work. So that's what I would do as far as targeting here. And then one other thing that I forgot to mention is that you can create what's called a lookalike audience. So when you click create new, instead of using custom audience, you create lookalike audience. And what you can do is, again, we set up, if you uploaded your customer file, or you have maybe you had a video that went viral and there's a bunch of people that watched it, then what you could do in here is create a custom audience. You'd first have to create a custom audience with a customer list, so you'd upload this, and then you'd come in here to lookalike audience, and what you can do is create, say I want to, so it says audience size ranges from 1% to 10% of the combined population of your selected locations. A 1% lookalike consists of the people most similar to your lookalike source. Increasing the percentage creates a bigger, broader audience. So let's say you have a 5,000 person email list, and you say, I want people who are exactly like the people on this list. Then you would say 1%, because then that tells the Facebook algorithm, hey, we're looking for people really, really similar to the people on this email list. But if you go wider, then it gives Facebook algorithm more leeway, and you can create better ads, or you might have a better performance on your ads that way. And then you'd select the location and the size as well. Again, I wouldn't recommend doing this. Sometimes it can work better than just cold targeting, but if you think about it, the audience size is so small for when you're targeting a local business that it really doesn't do that much good to create all of these restrictions on the algorithm, because it already knows what people in the area are going to be interested, and it only has a limited number of people to work with. And that was one of the mistakes I ran into when I was learning how to run Facebook ads, because I thought I was learning from people that had like online stores or sold products worldwide, and they were talking about all this interest targeting and how to do custom audiences and how to do lookalike audiences, and it just didn't work for a local business. So what I decided to do was test just cold targeting and or really broad local targeting, and it worked better every single time. So that's what I would recommend to you. Learn from my mistakes, and you'll definitely see more success that way. Detail targeting, again, this is something for more like an online store if you're selling abroad. But what you could do is come in here and say, like, if I'm trying to target orthodontists with my ads, for example, I would put in demographics, education, field of study. So Facebook knows who has studied orthodontics, and it has an audience size of 27,000 that Facebook can reach with these ads that I'm running. But again, an online store could be something like women's fashion. Let's say they sell like handbags or something. Then interest, that's a 13 million, an audience of 13 million. And then obviously in that case, they would take off the local targeting here. But again, not something you need to worry about as a local business, and I would leave this unchecked as well to expand your detailed targeting to reach more people when it's likely to improve performance. Just don't click that. You don't need to worry about connections either. You could do something like this, people who like your page or friends of people who like your page, but honestly, it's going to reach those people anyway. Like I've said, if you're restricting the geo-targeting so much, then all of these other things really don't matter that much. And then placements, so a placement is where the ad is actually going to be shown. So we got the Facebook news feed, the Instagram feed, Facebook Marketplace, video feeds, right column, Instagram Explorer. It usually has these pictures up here. It looks like it's down. Oh, there it is. So you can see what it'll look like on all of these different platforms. And like I mentioned earlier, you can run just an Instagram ad from here. So what you do is probably uncheck all of these, and then you just click Instagram feed, Instagram stories, and then you'd uncheck all the rest of these, and there you go. You just have an ad that's only allowed to run on Instagram and on the Facebook stories. In my experience, leaving automatic placements, Facebook knows where your ad's going to be seen the most, where it's going to be seen by the people that need to see it, and so you don't really need to worry about editing the placements unless you want to run just a Facebook ad or just an Instagram ad if you feel like that's very important. And then here, this is optimization for ad delivery. So again, we're telling Facebook what behavior we want to optimize for, and that's because of the campaign that we've selected. This option is here. So landing page views, link clicks, daily unique reach, or impressions. So if we say landing page views, we're telling Facebook we want to target people who are not only likely to click on our ads, but likely to make it all the way to the page that we have on the other side of the ad, which is called the landing page. So if somebody's on the subway and they click on your ad but it doesn't load, that would count as a link click, but it wouldn't count as a landing page view. So you want to optimize, most of the time you're going to want to optimize for this, because link clicks is just going to serve to people who like to click. I mean, my grandma likes to click on Facebook ads all the time, but that doesn't mean she's interested in buying what she's clicking on. And the other thing to think about is that people can accidentally click on something, and then what Facebook says is like, oh, that person clicked on this. It doesn't know that it was an accident, and maybe it totally doesn't fit the demographic or the type of person that you're trying to reach. So I would do landing page views if you're choosing a traffic campaign to a website, and you can also do Messenger. If you look down here, the placements are going to be a lot different. Messenger ads can only be served in select places, so you only have these options. And then cost control, schedule, you can just leave those the same. So then let's click continue. We come here to demo practice. You'd use your Instagram page. I don't have an Instagram page set up for this demo account, but you come in here, and this is where you're creating the actual creative of the ad. And so you'd come here to add media, add image. Looks like I've got this image of a pie chart on here that we can use. So you can click carousel, or you can click single image or video. So carousel is like on Instagram, that'd be where you can swipe through like all the different options. or all the different pictures that somebody posts, or a single image or video is just what it sounds like. So then your primary text, this is where you would put what you're selling. And if you're running this ad to completely cold traffic, you have to keep in mind that everybody's on a different stage in the customer journey. And so you need to cater to the people who don't know anything about you. And so, and not try to sell them straight out, because that nobody likes that. But just try to introduce them to what you are doing in a way that invites them to engage with your world and become a lead, or really get to know and consider buying from you. Again, we're not trying to go straight for the sale. We're trying to get them to consider. That's what we did when we selected the campaign objective here. And although purchases is what we do want, down the line we realize that because of the marketing funnel, we have to make somebody aware, then we have to make someone consider, and then we have to make them convert into a customer. So what you could put here is something like maybe like a cost calculator. That's what we do for orthodontists. Or you could put some type of free report or free something, so that somebody feels like they're getting something and they're not offended by you coming on their screen and just trying to sell them something. So you'd click here on primary text, and then you can type whatever you want here. So maybe it's like, see how affordable braces can be, for example. And then you want to make sure that you give a clear call to action. Click below to try, or to try our braces cost calculator. And then you can also add emojis in here. So I'm going to come up here. Looks like it's not allowing me to add emojis. I'd have to go to a different screen, so I want to add it now. But emojis are a great thing to add in the primary text here. And then you can also change the headline, which would be like, try our braces calculator. And then you could put I'd probably put emoji instead of those. That looks ugly what I put there. And then your description, this is optional, and it's going to show for some people, and it's going to show for not show for other people, is what Facebook has said recently, actually. So it knows which people like the description and which people don't. So we'll say this would be an awesome place actually to put your address. I've seen that a lot. So we can put the address of Ontario, Canada, the address of the place that we're advertising here, so that people know more or less where it is. And then your call to action would be something on here. I would suggest usually doing learn more. That's an inviting thing that allows people to, not feel like they're being pressured into anything. And then with your messenger setup, if you're running a messenger ad, which I changed this to a traffic to messenger ad, we can select either to start conversations or to generate leads. So this goes back to the behavior thing as well. Facebook knows which people like to start conversations, and Facebook knows which people like to generate leads, or like to become leads and submit their information, like their name, their phone, and their email. And I wouldn't suggest using this setup. I would suggest using something called ManyChat. I'll be releasing a video in the future about how to create messenger bots for a local business. It's something that really has exploded on Facebook, and it's still in the early stages, which is awesome because it allows you to get lower costs on your ads and higher conversions. So what you could do is come here and create a chat. So when somebody clicks on your ad, instead of sending them to a website, you'd send them to a messenger conversation. And this is what it says: hi, Keaton, in this case, please let us know how we can help you. And instead of saying that, you could say, click below to try our braces cost calculator. And that's taking a long time to load. This back end can be a little bit slow. And you can add an image here if you want. And we just add that same image probably. And then we'd put a title if we want, like Johnson Orthodontics. And then the subtitle, I'll just put a placeholder there for now. We can do quick replies, or you can do frequently asked questions. I'm a big fan of quick replies. What this allows you to do is say something like, try the calculator. And then when somebody clicks that, you connect this to another software that reads these words and says, okay, we need to send this cost calculator messenger flow or messenger conversation to this person because they said the words try the calculator. And again, the software I'd recommend for that is ManyChat. It's awesome. You can get a free version, free forever, or you can pay $10 a month to start out, which is honestly nothing for the value that you're getting there. So that's what to do for a traffic campaign. So we've gone over the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. I'd also like to discuss the other ones that I would recommend here, which is traffic, video views, lead generation, and messages. So let's say we do a video views campaign. Again, turn on campaign budget optimization, and I do in between $10 to $20 a day. Continue. And here, what it's telling us is through play optimization selected. So through play is now the default optimization for campaigns using the video views objective. This option can be changed in the budget and schedule section. So what a through play is it's optimizing for people who are more likely to watch like 10 seconds of your video. I think it is. So we'll deliver to your ads to help you get the most completed video plays if the video is 15 seconds or shorter. For longer videos, this will optimize for people most likely to play at least 15 seconds. So again, it's the behavior of the person that's being optimized for throughout this whole thing. And at the very top here, what you click is restricting you to certain behaviors. So it's when we click video views, we're saying, I want to find people on Facebook who like to watch videos. And that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. It's probably a mix of both, because there's people who don't want to buy anything, they just want to watch random cat videos on Facebook all day. But then there's people who like video more than simply photos. And when you serve an ad that's a video ad to them, they're more likely to engage with it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. So you'd come here, this is the same as what we just went over, and then edit placements as well. So with a video views ad, you're not going to be able to be in the Facebook right column or the Messenger inbox, but you will be on all of these other places. And again, you can click out. One thing to remember is that when you start doing video, it gets a little bit trickier with Instagram feed and the stories, because there's a minimum amount of time that you can have on a video, or a maximum amount of time that you can have on a video. So make sure that's actually pretty much constantly changing. So make sure you look up what's the latest thing about that. And then also you want to optimize the Facebook, you want to optimize like the height and width of your video so that it's serving correctly on all of the different placements and it looks good. One other thing that you can change here that I didn't mention last time is selecting only when connected to Wi-Fi. So Facebook knows when somebody's looking at Facebook when they're on Wi-Fi or when they're on their data. And a lot of people like to think that clicking on this only when connected to Wi-Fi helps increase the people likely to click on, engage with your ad, and spend longer, because if they're on Wi-Fi, that means that they have more time because they're on their lunch break or they're sitting at home, and they're more likely to engage long term with the ad instead of just click on it and then forget about it because they're walking around, which I would say is true for the most part. I really haven't seen this affect too much the results of campaigns. So I would say it's up to you. You can try it, but it's definitely not a requirement. And then also you can change mobile devices. So you can say Android devices only or iOS devices only, which is pretty cool. And so I would optimize for through play here. 2-second continuous video views. Like most of the videos on Facebook autoplay anyway. So if you're getting it in front of two like continuous views of 2 seconds or more, and then it says here most 2-second continuous video views will have at least 50% of the video pixels on the screen. This is if you want to reach people who are less likely to watch your video, but you're reaching people with a video who like video less, if that makes sense. So Facebook knows through their behavior that they don't love video that much, but they're more likely to watch 2 seconds of it. And it could be that if your video is really, really amazing, that it does capture the attention of more people. If you optimize for these 2-second continuous video views, it's going to reach different people, that's for sure. And so you can, again, split test this. And then we'll come here to the ad, and this is the same deal. We don't have the option of changing the video, like selecting a carousel video or something like that. It's just a single video. That's the only option. And then we come in here, and I don't have any videos, but you can select it from your Facebook page, or you can upload it here. So then we'll come down here. It saved that same primary text for us. I would always add a website URL, so they're watching this ad, then you're optimizing for video views, but you can optimize. You can have an option for them to click through to your website or to a landing page, so that they understand, or they can engage with your brand and buy what you want them to buy. So then we'll come here to, then you put in the website URL, the primary text, all of these things, and click confirm. Come back here to lead generation. The thing that's different about this one is here in the ad level, it's locking me out of the ad level because I need to change something. I agree. Come here to, I wonder if it's because I didn't do campaign budget optimization. $10. Continue. There we go. Now I can click through to the ad. So this, the thing about this ad is that it, instead of taking somebody away from Facebook to a different page, so you have to go create a landing page for them to land on and submit their information. Instead of doing that, you're just getting them to submit their information through Facebook. So it's going to have us choose our form type first, which would be more volume. So that's a form that's quick to fill out and submit on a mobile device. In my experience, people that submit their information here are kind of neurotic. Like, they just click on it and they're like, oh, submit my information, and then you can't ever get in contact with them. They don't really care. So if you do higher intent, like, you're already choosing an ad objective that's going to get lower intent people. So I would definitely choose higher intent in this case, unless all you're trying to do is just collect 1 million email addresses for some reason. So then you come into here to intro, and the headline text would be like, fill out your information for a free consultation. And then use the image from your ad. And then the layout, we can say, like, you could type anything there that you want, like additional information. Questions, you can change the email, full name, phone number, street address. You can add all of these things: date of birth, user information, work information, national ID number. This is for overseas. And then you can also customize the question to be conditional. So arrange your conditional answers in a CSV file, download a sample file to use as a template, or learn more about how to format your CSV. So here you would, again, upload your email addresses, or a, in this case, sorry, it wouldn't be email addresses, but you'd upload the answers in a CSV file. And you could find information on how to do this through Facebook. It sounds pretty complicated. You probably wouldn't need to use it. But if you wanted to take them to take kind of a quiz type thing within this this lead form, then you could do that, where it says, maybe they say like, okay, are you 18 or older? And then after that, it opens up another question for you because you said you were 18 or older. Privacy policy, this is just required by Facebook, and you have to link it. You can find like a sample privacy policy online, and then just, it would be like yourwebsite.com/privacy policy. Then you would paste all of that sample privacy policy onto your website, and then they would be able to, Facebook just wants to know that you're protecting the people's rights and you're not going to sell spam or rent their information to other people. The review screen, so this is why when you selected higher intent, like if I get rid of that, then the review screen will go away, and that allows them to review their answers and really make sure they want to submit it before they do that. And then the thank you screen you can also customize as well. So that is a lead form ad, and I've seen success with it. Again, you're optimizing for people who just like to click on these ads and submit their information, and usually they're a lot harder to get information from than people who are willing to sit through, the more time they spend with you and the more effort they have to go through to submit their information, the more interested they're going to be in your product or service, and the higher likelihood that they become a good paying customer. So you could use this lead generation tool, and it could work for you. I haven't seen very much success with it myself, but it doesn't mean you can't. Okay, let's go back in here and come into messages. This is my favorite campaign objective. Either messages or traffic to Messenger. And the difference between that, you may have mentioned earlier, like, oh, we already did this messages thing. Like, why is there a traffic to Messenger as well as a messages objective? So traffic, you're telling Facebook, I want as many people as possible to go through my messages or click through and start a message with my business, start a conversation with my business. Whereas with messages, you're saying, I want to optimize for people who like to have conversations. So same deal here. It's giving me a lower daily budget because you need less money to run Messenger ads, which is why I love them so much. And then you'd come in here, and again at the bottom you're optimizing for replies or leads. You can, just like we saw earlier, and then you'd set up the same thing at the bottom here, start conversations, generate leads. It's the same thing. Facebook just has a bunch of different places to submit the same thing. So once you've understood all of these different options, you can decide what's best for you and then create the ad set that fits for you, so targeting your office or around your office or your business, and then you can create an ad that works for you. And just best principles to remember there are that you need something enticing that people want to click on, as well as a good video or picture to go along with it. I would recommend starting with picture if you don't have any video or other assets like that to work with. And Facebook ads work, you just need to do them the right way. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I love Facebook advertising, and I'd love to help you gain greater clarity on what you could do for your business. And if you're an orthodontist, I really appreciate you sticking around until the end. I'd love to speak with you specifically. My information is below, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks.